You clap like white women dance.
This is gonna be.
Have you ever had anyone on this podcast make a joke out of your clap before the episode even started?
Actually,
That's
never.
New York comedy. We don't fuck around. We ain't waiting for shit. Let's get shit done. Where are the Asians? I want food.
It's not the first time you compared Tommaso to a white woman.
Really?
Yeah,
Once
that's
you
true.
did that when you, after a show.
Well, his last name does start with the word fur.
Ferrari.
Ferrari.
No, I grew up in the 80s, so I was.
Oh.
That's what 80s
Oh.
porn reminds me of. I'm starting off by being as unlikable as possible.
It's literally.
I want you guys to know, I grew up, so listen, you liberals. I grew up in a gay neighborhood with gay friends. Don't judge me. This is just my voice that's...
All right, we're back with another episode of Hi.
It's us.
Hi, it's us.
Stop making fun of
Right.
our podcast.
This is a
That
serious
sounds
project.
like something that happens like when you're in a threesome and then the couple
Eiffel Tower.
the couple tries to be like to move the relationship forward too fast. Like, hi, it's us. Like, who's us? That yet? You know, Aladdin and Tom. And I'm like, oh, it's you guys. Don't say it's us yet.
Maybe we should change it. Like, hi, it's me.
Tommaso and Aladdin.
Come on, no. Listen, if you're comedians, you have to be stubborn.
Yeah.
All
I was
right.
one of my friends said, "Do you have to be a super confident person to be a comedian?" I'm like, no, but you do have to be the kind of person that if you say a joke in a room and 200 people go, "That's not funny," you have to look at them and go, "Yeah, it is." Like you got to be that kind of a person. You got to be like, "Yeah, it's funny. There's something in there."
To a certain
I'll keep-
degree where you're not cocky too much
Yeah.
about.
I mean, it doesn't
Yeah.
feel good when 200 people boo your face.
Yeah.
Usually that's enough to let the normal people, bounce their way, ping pong their way into good material.
Yeah.
But if you're a psychotic person, then you've been doing it 20 years and you're still making weird jokes.
Yeah.
You're like a 58-year-old Joe Rogan and your fans are 18. Like, how can people without pubes think I'm a genius? Maybe you're not a genius. You know what I mean? It's just logic.
Yes.
Shout out to Joe Rogan.
Shut up.
know.
Yeah.
He took my look. It really bothers me.
Yeah.
I'm also
Yeah.
trying to get your look. You see.
Come on, nice try.
You're never gonna be like it.
Come on. I know in Berlin, but you're gonna need more than a mustache to become me. Actually, I have a lot of trans comedian friends, and one time I did the show, and I said, "Nice job, sister," and she goes, "Hey, I really appreciate that you always call me by my proper pronouns," and I'm like, "Of course I do. Come on, we're Berliners," and she just looks at me and goes, "Yeah, I don't think you've lived here long enough to call yourself." I'm like, "Okay, you could be a lady. I'm not a Berliner yet. Go fuck yourself." I'm coming
So
back next, but
condescending.
it was acceptable. I accepted
Yeah.
it.
Okay.
Next year, I'm coming back.
But like you've been here since a year, right? I think you can't call yourself.
Well, I mean, I've been coming here for
Berliner.
10 years. Thank you very much.
Okay.
And,
You've been coming and going.
But listen, there's some people that live on Berlin, and then there's some people that live in Berlin. I know people that have been living on Berlin for 10 years, and I knew this city better than they did after
Yeah,
being
that's
here
true.
for 10 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in comedy, their whole life is comedy. They don't even know Berlin. What do they know?
Yeah, that's true.
They're
Yeah,
like the
that's
flies that just stand on top of the peach, and they're like, "Let me make you a cobbler." Like, what do you know? You're on the outside.
Yeah.
I'm the worm inside with the juice. I'll make you a cobbler.
That's a really took a
That's poetic.
yeah.
That was really poetic.
Yeah.
Warm in a
So-
juice.
Best way to introduce our guest of today.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest ADD. Sorry. Yeah,
Tamer Kattan.
thank
Kattan,
you.
guys.
It's nice to be here with you
Thank
guys
you.
again because you deleted the episode that we already recorded.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
That
we
was-
we ran into trouble, which we didn't
Yeah.
thought it would ever happen. The audio, we didn't
That
have
was,
the audio on the
that
last
was-
one.
Oh, that's okay. These things happen.
But fuck, we were so devastated.
Yeah.
We almost,
Yeah,
I think I
cried,
almost
dude.
cried.
I cried.
You cried?
Yeah.
I don't want. Listen, I'm the one who was hurt. Don't tell me that you cried.
He has to be here 2 times.
That's like a cop knocking on door saying, "I'm sorry, your son's dead," and it really made me cry. It really ruined my day. I'm the one who's suffering, and you guys are the ones who are moaning. Oh, It made me cry that Tamer has to come back and spend half his
I
day
was like,
here.
Wallah, Habibi, we buy you pizza, everything. Just please.
I
come
bought the
back.
pizza. I bought the pizza. And then Uber got the address wrong, and I had to take a train.
Oh my god.
Like an Amish person without my own car, 10 minutes back and
You
forth.
just called all Berliners Amish.
It's ridiculous. This part of Berlin is Amish. Look at the streets. Look at the street here. It's different. It's not a typical Berlin street. This is like
It's DDR street.
this is like the picture of the street with the the Nazi flags and shit.
Yeah.
That's where all the flags were.
Nazi flags and
Now, 50 years later, they just removed the L. That's a joke to the gays.
God hate flags or something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in West Hollywood, so even the cookies were called, they weren't called Fig Newtons. Just kidding. It's not your word. You can't say it.
We can't do that. We can't. No.
I was gay once, so it's okay. I can say it.
Oh, well, what? What?
Yeah, I watched a musical and I liked it.
Which musical?
I liked Rent quite a bit. It was pretty good. I mean, it was cool, but it was really confusing because they were singing, but they were singing about a disease that killed people. I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, oh, what am I?
You questioned your
It was a high
sexuality.
pitch.
It's weird. Like you don't want to. You're a dark personality, but you don't like musicals. But then they start singing about AIDS. You're like, oh god, I want to sing along. Am I gay now? I don't know. It's so confusing.
Would you say that's like the gayest thing you ever did, that you watched a musical?
I have a boner in the shape of a question mark. I'm confused, man. I'm confused. No, is that the gayest thing I've ever done?
Yeah.
No, probably when I was like 16. I used to, I think like 3 Halloweens in a row, I dressed up like a woman.
What?
And then like after the 3rd Halloween, my dad's like, I think we need to have a conversation.
Really? What
I'm
did you
like,
dress
why?
as?
What's the problem? Well, I was a buff kid, so it was really funny when I dressed up as a girl the first time, and then the second time, I'm like, oh, I'm getting a lot of attention from girls. And then the 3rd time, I'm like, I like the way my balls feel. You know what I mean? Like I just grew into it myself, and I'm like, I really like this.
You never had a guy attention?
But I was your.
Yeah, of course. I grew up in West Hollywood, dude. Like I spent
yeah.
a lot of my youth, and yeah, of course, I have gay friends. But let me tell you something that's really interesting. There's a lot of homophobes out there that say stuff like, "Oh, I don't want to go to a gay bar in case I get grabbed or something." I've been to like 100 gay bars. I've never had anyone, maybe one time in 100 as a gay guy, like ever been confrontational with me. I've been to 4 Super Bowl parties with finance bros. I've had my cock grabbed 15 times. My gayest friends are so straight. Like, like if a gay guy hits on you, just say thank you and move on. It means you know how to dress.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's a compliment from a part of our species that dresses better and is kind, interesting, creative people.
Artsy and everything.
But the anal, I don't like it.
That's the part I don't really.
Find a way to
kidding.
make it.
I'm just kidding. Come on, I've had a good poop. I know how good it feels. I can't imagine what it feels like the other way.
Shout out to the gays, yeah. Watching the podcast.
I feel like we're right on the edge of them getting mad. But that's what they like, edging. Hey! Just kidding. It's not offensive. It's on the edge. You like that. Bring me a towel.
So, Tamer.
Yes.
How was your day?
I like how you say my name like you're an African tribal chief, like you're trying to pronounce my name like a news reporter. So, Tamer.
I'm sounded French right now.
Italian.
Oh, yeah.
You sound like Berdum. What's his name? What's that guy's?
Berdum?
Antonio Berdum.
Antonio.
Yeah, like you're Latinicizing my name. It's just Tamer, man.
Tamer.
What was your question? Yeah, this is the question these guys had for me when I first got here. They're like, "How was your day?" I'm like, "What was this? My therapist's office? What kind of question is this?" This is how Joe Rogan made it big, by asking the most mundane. What's your favorite color?
What's your favorite color?
I love black people the most.
We didn't even talk about race. We just had sexuality.
Yeah.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. I feel like with Germans, sometimes I'm like, if I ask how are you,
Yeah.
they're like very like alarmed by it. Like, why are you asking about me? What's so
This
interesting?
guy,
Yeah.
this guy here went to his first German wedding, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was
Yeah,
it,
it was
man.
on this weekend.
Wow, that's
like last
big.
weekend. It was interesting. It was in a really far village in Dresden.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Use the word interesting. That's not our word.
Yeah, it's not. It's
Brown people
very-
don't use the word interesting.
It was shit. It was
Right,
bad.
yeah.
No, it was. Yeah, I mean, like,
This is like when a dude goes to jail too much and he starts calling women females. I'm like, that's not your word. This guy, like from the hood, he's like, "Well, the perpetrator." I'm like, "Okay, you've been arrested before." And
It was interesting.
I'm the most
That
whitewashed.
was interesting. I'm like, "What kind of an Arab says interesting?"
A whitewashed one. Like, that's me. So I'm whitewashed.
Like he's been bitten by the German vampire.
yeah.
Cool.
My girlfriend likes biting.
Oh, there you go.
No, but yeah. So the wedding, like, you know, you have mildly racist people, or I don't know,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But it's like
It's nice.
they asked me questions. Like one guy just asked me out of thin air, like out
Yeah.
of the blue. I was just saying like goodbye. I was saying goodbye, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Where were you born?" I was just saying I need to sleep. It was a long day. I'm tired. I'm gonna go back to my room. Where were you born?
Yeah.
What-
You know
what-
what?
what did you
When
say?
people
And
make me uncomfortable, I like to make them uncomfortable back. So I go, "Oh, are you familiar with my mom's pussy?" In the southeast corner of my mom's pussy. That's where. How's that? You like that? You feel You want to see a picture?
It's a good.
That's a good
Fucking
comeback.
jackass.
That's good geography.
Look, there's nothing wrong with just making people uncomfortable, and it's like
Yeah.
risking your own dignity in the process.
You know, the comic part of me wanted to say something so
Sure,
fucked up
why
as
not?
that, but then I just said Syria.
There you go. Yeah. You can,
And I felt like, and then I told him, "Where were you born?" And he's like, "Here in my hometown." But I traveled a lot. But then I came back to my hometown because I love my hometown. And
Yeah,
I was
then
like,
you haven't
"Good
traveled."
for you, motherfucker!" Like,
Yeah.
not a lot of people love their
fuck
hometowns.
What the fuck is this conversation?
Yeah,
also?
what a fucking weird
what did he want to
conversation.
know
I
about?
feel like he's
He's such a
implying that
weirdo.
I'm here and I'm not in my hometown, and
No,
I'm not loving my hometown, so I'm bad for being
no,
here.
I think people who are like closeted racists will collect immigrant contacts like people collect Pokemon. And they'll be like, "Oh, I got a Syria. Oh, I got a Syria yesterday.
so true.
Oh, I found in India. I
It's so
talked to
true.
in India yesterday." You know, and they collect
true.
Let's
us.
catch them all.
Yeah,
Pokemons.
like you know, like when Dave Chappelle went, "Oh, I have a trans friend."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, she killed herself though, conveniently, so no one can check if they're really friends. Okay,
Did he really say?
I
she
found a
killed-
dead trans person to say I was friends with.
Oh.
That's pretty silly.
Yeah.
Did he say she killed herself, or did you like?
No, she did kill herself.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah, yeah.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Yeah, suicide's a big thing in the comedy world. It's a problem because we don't have an HR department. We don't have a Toby.
Oh yeah. Toby can make you
Yeah,
alive.
people need to talk to each other. Yeah, it's pretty sad. Pretty
Yeah.
sad, yeah.
But who told us about a guy in comedy who killed himself? You told us, right?
Yeah, one of my friends killed himself this January.
God.
Yeah, it was
Oh,
really
shit.
fucked up. Yeah,
Fuck.
thanks for bringing it down.
Oh fuck. Oh my god. So the German
So
wedding.
German's wedding was was really bad, right?
Yeah.
Like that's depressing.
Yeah, man. Look, no, seriously though, it's a job where you're on your own a lot. There's no Google Map. There's no HR department. It's just the Wild West, and a lot of people like. There's a lot of mixed emotions and feelings, and if you don't talk to anybody, you can't process these things, and they just fester and grow like mold in England. You know, you got to talk to people. You got to talk to each other. It's important. I'm glad you guys have the kind of friendship you do, where you can like talk to each other. I have to get a stripper
You have to get a stripper.
for someone to talk to.
You have a girlfriend.
No, I'm just kidding. No, obviously, I'm kidding.
I was like,
No, my girlfriend's amazing. And a good listener.
Yeah,
that's
so
very
she
nice.
listens to your jokes. Like, how do you?
No, she doesn't. I don't really do jokes on my lady.
it sounded weird.
It sounded
right now.
sexual.
Really sexual right now.
That'd be like the first stand-up special on a porn network. The first you
Just
porn
in
comedy
bed
special
naked.
doing jokes on my lady.
Could be a special, yeah.
That would be a special. That'd be pretty funny.
Yeah.
One time, Eric Andre did a proctology exam karaoke. Where they sang karaoke songs while getting a prostate exam.
What the fuck?
So
this guy?
he'd be singing the song, and you could tell exactly when the finger went. He'd be like, "Ebony, and it was so great, man. Butts are hilarious.
Well, my God, Eric Andre did a show like that. I didn't see that before.
He did it on the Howard Stern show. It was a segment on the Howard
Okay.
Stern show.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were we talking about? I totally forgot.
Oh, we were talking about Eric Andre getting fingered by his doctor
For that.
on the Howard Stern show.
Oh, your girlfriend that you never do jokes on your lady.
Oh yeah, yeah.
No, I never.
Yeah.
I never test out jokes on my lady. I mean, when I hang with my lady, I just relax and I let her have the stage. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's
Mm.
cool.
That's nice.
I try to
That's really
unplug, just be a normal person.
I think with my girlfriend, I'm feeling like she's getting tired of my jokes. Like,
yeah, you shouldn't do
you
that
should-
to your
I should
lady.
not,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to do is hang out with other comedians, and then you're just like gonna go.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You don't want to. You don't want to live like that. It's a weird thing because there needs to be a healthy obsession, but the underlying part is the word healthy, not obsession. Too many people underline obsession instead of healthy obsession, and it's like, yeah, you can pursue something, but if you don't refill your batteries, then or live a normal life, then you're gonna break. It's not you can't drive in fifth gear all the time. It's a marathon, and a lot of people want to try to sprint. It's like, go for it, but you're gonna cramp and shit your pants.
That's also
Yeah.
Learn to
true.
I
learn
mean,
to,
sometimes
learn
we
to
have these kind of things like we're talking with friends and
Yeah.
they know we do comedy. Maybe they don't do comedy,
yeah.
and they're like, you're trying a beat right now? Are you like?
Yeah, I
they-
hate
they-
that. That's
the
terrible.
material?
Like,
Is
dude,
that a
I'm not.
bit?
I'm just talking
Just be
normal.
me.
That's what happened
Yeah.
to me today.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you
Yeah.
trying to make some jokes now? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
it's just-
Imagine if you're a stripper and then you're sitting at dinner and she reaches for a fork and you're like, oh, I know what you're trying to do. You want me to give you $1? You want $1 right now? And I'm like, no, I'm just reaching for a salt.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I
It's not
just
my
wanna
fault.
Be normal, and of course, more comedy you do, more also your persona starts to change. So every time
Sure.
you say a story, you want to be the most interesting person when you say the story, right? What I mean?
No. You know what? That's actually an interesting perspective because that's like the first rule that I learned in comedy is don't have sports energy, have art energy.
Okay.
Sport energy is I want to be the best. Art energy is I want to be the only. That's when it's art, when it's like uniquely you. If
Yeah.
it's like, hey, let me be the funniest guy in the room, then it's the wrong kind of energy because you're looking around the outside of you instead of looking around the inside, right? And that's what happens. New comics always start at their cocks, and then they go to their heads, and then they go to their hearts. And that's when you have like magic moments. Like to me, one of the most amazing things I ever heard was never caught on video. And it was Richard Pryor in San Francisco, went out on stage. The audience was going crazy. He's already famous. So instead of relying on his fame, he kept pushing the material. He just looked at the audience and he goes, hey, what's up? I'm God. And the audience starts laughing a little bit. And there's different kinds of laughs. So it was a lot of nervous laughter and like confused laughter.
Yeah.
And then he had just a stone face the whole time. And that's not easy to do. You know, people are laughing and he's just stone faced and he's looking more and more and more upset. And he goes, what'd you do to my kid?
Wow.
And then the room goes silent. And he goes, what the fuck did you do to my kid? And then it all of a sudden feels like a play. And he goes, you tell me what you did to my kid. And he's like, we crucified him. He goes, that's right. He's like, but I kept trying to help you. I kept trying to help you. What did you do to Martin Luther King? And then it got silent. He goes, you tell me, what'd you do to him? What'd you do to John F. Kennedy? And he kept talking about these people that were trying to help society that we murdered. And then he just looks at the audience, he points at them, and he goes, now you're on your own, and walks off stage. And I was like, holy shit,
What a heavy
man.
thing to just leave
But
out there.
comedy
and go
can be
out.
so much, man. It can be so much. And I think when you get to like really, really high levels, it's not just that you can make us laugh, but it's you can make us laugh and make us think and look at the world in a different way. And if the world hurts one day, you could look at it from a different angle and it doesn't hurt so much. Like the favorite joke that I have is like when I walk outside of a city I've lived in as an expat for 4 years and somebody spray paints on the wall, tourists go home. That hurts my heart. But then when I stop and I look at it and I go, yeah, that's what tourists do. Then it makes me laugh. And I'm like, yo,
That's
some
a good one.
autistic graffiti artist painted tourists. I'm like, yeah, that's
Yeah, it's a good
literally
one. It's because
what
it's
they
so
do.
true. There's so much truth to it.
But that's what a joke can do. It
Yeah.
can take away something that hurts your feelings and turn it into a weapon and make you feel better. Or it can be a fucking nothing joke if you want it to be too. You can do that too. You can do whatever you want. You can make burgers or you can have a 5-star restaurant. It's up to you.
I like the idea of being unique, you know, because I feel like that's the goal at the end, right? You have to also the laugh has to be unique, you know, the laugh that they gives you. I like this idea how people were laughing but were nervous.
Yeah,
Because you don't know if you can laugh about it. I think it's interesting because you know exactly how people could react to every. That's a comedian. That's a comedian,
Yeah.
right? That you control the room, and you have exactly the idea of. It's like a wave, you know.
Yeah.
And you know when people are gonna laugh but nervous, so you can control that
Mm.
and twist it again,
Yeah.
and that's
No, I would even argue that you don't even have to be unique. You just have to be yourself.
yeah.
And then by default, unique happens. Because like the word try is funny. It's literally on Charles Bukowski's tombstone. And he wrote the words, don't try. Like just be. Be yourself. And that's the hardest thing in the world to be. At the end of the day, we're emotional strippers. Like we talk about parts of their lives normal people wouldn't talk about. The way strippers show parts of their bodies normal people wouldn't show.
Yeah.
Right? And so it's like being unique or trying to be unique as opposed to just being just 100% being yourself and not worrying about judgment or your insecurities or false hopes or negative thoughts. If you can kill all that, then a regular person looks at you like the same way a dog looks at a wolf.
Yeah.
Like I come from that. And that's what it looks like to be 100% free. I think outside of the jokes, I think that's the energy that they're attracted to, that it's inspiring to be free.
True.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
True that.
That's why I like Berlin. I think it's like one of the freest places still alive today that's like actually free.
Yeah, it's really free. But yeah, no.
Yeah, it's really free.
Free Berlin.
No, I think it's really interesting topic this because, I mean, for us we just started comedy, so it's also interesting to see a perspective from a person who has been
Like,
in this
yeah.
field for many years.
Who's so good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean,
Also,
Yeah,
also
I'm so good.
I'm
I'm so good. So where's the camera?
Here.
I'm so good.
I think you've heard that a lot, right?
I have gold teeth. No, I'm American. We talk to ourselves a lot.
You're number one.
I'm number one.
Yeah. But by the way, I was going to ask you, because I saw today you uploaded this video of this joke that you always say, like, that your dad is Jewish and your mom is...
Nope.
No, your mom is Jewish.
Fucking guy.
Fuck, I fucked it up. I fucked it up. So, wait.
guy.
One of them is Jewish and the other is Muslim.
He's like, you know that joke that you do about your period?
Did you watch
I'm
it
like, what? You know, I love that joke that you do about giving birth. I'm like, oh yeah, that's one of my favorites.
Fuck, I make one mistake. Your mom. Your mom.
Yeah. You know that joke that you do about breastfeeding your son? Yes, I do. Yeah.
So your dad is Muslim and your mom is Jewish. I'm
Yeah.
getting it right.
Yeah.
All right, good.
Culturally, yeah.
Culturally.
Yeah.
What does that mean, culturally?
It means that they weren't religious weirdos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
It means they can appreciate alcohol without being alcoholics.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
like some common sense involved with it,
Yeah.
and they recognize that it's a guideline on how to live life. It's directional. It's not prescriptive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think
Feel
that
it with their heart is
Yeah.
not like a script that they've
yeah.
been giving.
Look, there's examples of it all the time. Like what happens if you want a little kid to behave?
Yeah.
Right? You tell them, hey, at the end of the year, if you're a good person, you'll get good presents from this imaginary man who lives way up there, who's got a beard, and you can send him letters. That sounds a lot like just in shape Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Is who Jesus is. He's a guy that's in shape, who's got a beard. He lives far away. He knows when you've been good. He knows
Yeah.
when you've been bad. If you're bad, you get bad things. If you're
What-
good, you get good things.
Well, I need to ask this. So,
Prayers and
wait,
wishes, the same.
If your dad is Muslim and your mom is Jewish, you
Yeah.
celebrated Christmas. That's so
Yeah,
nice.
we're in America. We
Yeah,
celebrate
yeah,
Christmas.
Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Makes sense, right?
Let me tell you something that's been bugging me lately. This is like my deep thought that I had the other day. I don't understand why violence never goes out of style. It like stays in style the way jeans stay in style. We are not a strong species at all.
No.
We have not succeeded or evolved to greatness because we're powerful. Like even the most in shape MMA fighter, we get the shit beat out of him by the most out of shape gorilla. right? Like anytime somebody becomes strong as a human being, they go, hey, look, I'm going to tattoo another animal on myself to show how strong I am. We are weaklings. The only way we progressed in society is by working together and cooperating with each other. That's how we've succeeded as a society. But then you look at religion and it's all divisive and it all separates us. Hey, if you're part of this group, you don't want to be like those cocksuckers. Come and be like these guys. Come and be like us. We're better. We're better.
Yeah.
And then you isolate yourselves. And then you get like, I had a friend come up to me and go, hey, my neighbors moved in and they're blank religion. Do you think it's okay for me to say hi? And I'm like, I don't know.
Try.
Because the people that are really orthodox, they isolate themselves in such a way that another person can't say hi to them. And guess what? At some point in time, we're all going to need the help of people outside of our group. And then when heinous things happen to us, we're like, why is nobody empathizing?
Yeah.
Oh, it's because they don't know us.
True.
And because we're separate. That's divide and conquer has always been a style of attack to go after all people. It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, celebrating Christmas is like you could celebrate Christmas even if it's not your religion.
Yeah, I mean, I love. You could celebrate whatever you want. But you should like. At the end of the day, the people that like, there's your given family and then there's your chosen family. I like my chosen family better. Those are the people that earned it. Right? Like there's your given family doesn't, I've got some nice family members. I've got some not nice family members, but my friends are my friends,
Yeah. True.
I like that way of living better instead of mandatory love, which I don't like. I'm not a sex worker.
Yeah. Mandatory love.
I'm not going to love someone just because they have the same last name as me. I think that's a silly concept.
What do you think? What do you think about that, Tommaso?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? What?
Well, his last name is cool though.
Because your last name is Ferrari. Like if there's a like.
No, my parents always loved me.
What a show off.
All right, yeah, you're really showing off right
My
now.
My parents always love me.
I'm
what
so
the
good to, like, having it.
This is the kind of guy that goes on the street in front of homeless people and eats a sandwich on top of them. My parents love me. What about yours? Yum, 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 yum.
Do you have a tissue actually for my sandwich?
Oh my God.
That would be insane.
That's amazing.
No,
Both my parents love me.
Yeah, but my uncle is a really bad person, for example.
He's a bad person?
A bad person.
What did he do to you? Did he do
know.
something to you?
I think my grandma, she doesn't know about this, you know.
Okay.
Oh wow.
It's a secret in the family. We have like
let's
there's
go.
drama in my family, you know?
Okay.
When something happens, you cannot say, like, not all the family can know about it.
Sure.
Like step by step, because some people are a bit more, sensitive.
See, there's levels.
Yeah.
Even within the family,
Yeah.
there's a hierarchy. People are like, we're so divisive, it doesn't make any sense. One time I had this guy tell me, he's like, I like about you, Tamer, you're an immigrant, but you mix with people. I like that. You're not like that. Those Asian guys that just came to this school and they only hang out with other Asians. And I'm like, do you think anybody does that on purpose? Do you think somebody leaves Korea to move to Koreatown?
No, dude.
That like doesn't make any sense. Like immigrants in a new city are like nerds in a new school. Like they want to be friends with everybody, but then you start making fun of their clothes and their hair, and then at lunchtime they're sitting at a table with a bunch of other nerds, and they're like, "Oh, this is Chinatown now,
Yeah.
and this is Little Italy
created
because this
Chinatown.
is where you made us sit."
Yeah, actually.
This, for example, like in Berlin, okay, I mean, there is this kind of things, but you don't see it so much.
Yeah,
Like, no, for example, like from
Okay.
in Bologna, like in Italy, you can see it. Like, you can see it. Like, there is, like a neighborhood is just Chinatown. Like, just Chinese people there. And there are neighborhood is just, like, Arab people. You know? It's really strong, the separation.
the division. Yeah, that's terrible.
I mean, in Berlin, you have that a little bit, right? Like you have the Arab street, Zone Alley.
But you know
see
what?
it,
That's
but
us, man.
That's us. But
We're
that's,
isolationists.
Yeah.
We isolate, and it's
Unfortunately.
wrong.
But
Yeah,
I
that's
still
the
have this
problem.
idea
I
the
don't
new-
like it.
The new generation, because the thing that like when you're a kid, you don't feel it, right?
Yeah.
You don't feel as.
What are you
like,
talking about?
When you're like a kid, like you go to school, right? In
Yeah.
elementary school, you have a person who comes from another country,
Yeah,
but for you,
You don't feel it.
doesn't. That is, as a kid,
you
it doesn't-
think.
But then
Yeah.
your parents behind you, they're like, no, don't go out with this guy.
Yeah.
You know,
they tell you that.
Yeah, I
You know
see
what
what
I
you're saying.
And
you're
Yeah,
innocent.
yeah, I
You're
know
like-
you're right.
But when you're a kid, you're so like pure and whatever, and you don't.
Do you know what?
about
I think
racism.
school does it on a really primal level the way prisons do. Prisons aren't like, are you Eastern European or you're European? They go, he's white. like children in a playground.
Yeah.
You know, children on the play are the same way. They basically their races are the different shades of people.
50 Shades.
You know,
of Grey.
they just know you're one of 4. They think there's 4 races on the whole planet. But then when you get older, you're like, oh, that's a Croatian guy. You didn't have a word for mauve as a child. You just had pink or purple.
Yeah.
You know, so it gets layered. But there's definitely still racism with kids, like in America, I should say.
Yeah.
In America, there definitely was, where kids were like, oh, you're different. Your name's weird. You've got weird food in your lunch bag. You dress different.
Did you ever
know?
had that in school? In the
Oh,
States?
dude, are you kidding me? What do you mean?
Like you have those, like a lot of people. Like,
Oh, dude,
all the
I got
time.
the shit beat out of me for years. For years. Like almost like even after I like it. That's why I have a perfect American accent. Because they beat it
Beat it into
you. People say that all the time. You go, if you immigrate, have you ever noticed that your friends can speak a language perfectly, but their parents who've lived there the same amount of time
They don't.
still have really thick accents?
Mhm.
It's because nobody slapped our parents in the face.
True.
Nobody
that,
beat them up at
actually.
school. Like I learned to
Yeah.
pronounce things properly because if I said it a little bit wrong, I'd get jumped again.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You know,
Makes sense.
it was hyper violent in school, especially. I mean, depending on the neighborhood you lived in, obviously. But yeah, America was pretty bad. They made you feel like an outsider a lot. And then here's the irony too: the people that are like, "Oh, why don't these immigrants like assimilate?" Well, guess what? If you stop being racist, they probably would assimilate more. The more you tell me that I'm not something or that I'm not accepted, the more I'll be what I am then, and I'll do it out loud.
You mean with assimilate, like integrate?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like I think people would be willing to be more American if racist people weren't telling them that they're not American. Then they're going,
Yeah.
fine, I'm not American.
Yeah.
Then I'll be uber Nigerian. I'll be uber Arab, and I'll be because you made fun of me when I walked into the street with a Dodgers hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here comes the hata.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
why we have an Arab street now. In
Yeah.
Berlin, I
Now we have an
guess,
Arab street. Now we feel safe,
Yeah.
which is braver than needing guns.
Yeah.
Pussy Americans.
Yeah, crazy. Yeah.
They can't have their own street because it would just be a street full of restaurants that serve bologna sandwiches.
American diners, maybe.
But do you feel like this is still happening now? Do you feel with this globalization
Yeah. People have been weaponized. Stupidity has been weaponized, and fear has been weaponized. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like it's a great combination to make someone afraid and have them not know what they're afraid of. So they're full of anxiety, and all you have to say is go right, go left, and they'll do what. Look at what Trump's doing. Trump's not even that smart of a guy, and he was able to manipulate
He's using fear.
people to even attack their own government by
Yeah.
making stuff up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cats
that's
and
crazy.
dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's literally, it's like if a gossip columnist had sex with a dictator. And they
Wait,
made
it takes me time. Wait.
yeah, like what? Like it's like the Weekly World News had sex with Hitler. It would be Donald Trump. They're eating pets. They're eating cats. The Dominicans are eating dogs, and it's like
Oh fuck yeah.
They're remixing into songs now.
like
the song.
it's so ridiculous. It's so
How's the
absurd,
song?
dude.
Good.
Yeah, there's like a song, like a remix now. Like
Remix of
of
oh,
his
fuck,
speech,
yeah.
like doing like saying
It was
cats and
such a-
dogs. It's so bad.
But here's how
This-
fucked up the media is. That remix is probably going to help him.
Yeah, it's gonna push him up on TikTok.
Yeah, of
and,
course,
like,
yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's a
It's like-
very
I remember
weird
when,
time we live
I mean,
in.
when you wrote the joke about the shooting of Donald Trump, well,
Oh,
that
yeah.
was really funny. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you can say the joke if you want.
Yeah, no, I just saw this joke where I'm like, I was so glad when like Trump got shot. I was glad that the shooter was Matthew, not Muhammad. But then like afterwards, I saw how people reacted. I'm like, I wish it was Muhammad. Like it's like, fuck, like he got so much ego. He got
Yeah,
Sometimes
so
it happens.
much-
We're just trying to
It's
like it's
got up in life.
people don't understand sometimes that like
He got
when you
better.
try to make fun of something that's a dark thing, it doesn't mean that you don't have a respect for what happened.
Yeah,
It's
Oh,
the
yeah.
opposite. It
Yeah.
means that it's affecting you so much that you want to lighten it. Like I said this joke at an open mic the other day, and I go, look, I think the Israel-Palestine issue is much more complicated than people want it to be. There's a simple solution, and there's a simple way to solve this problem. I go, but you have to allow yourself to accept a slight bit of racism. And that bit of racism is that Jewish people love a bargain. Okay? That's not such a racist thing to say. If you lived in New York the winter of 2023 like I did, and you saw the way Jews acted when some guy yelled out "free bagels," and saw the violence that I saw, you'd be like, okay, yes, of course. Jews, like everybody else, is capable of that sort of violence. So all I'm saying is that maybe Palestinians are not the problem. Maybe the word "free" in front of Palestine is the problem. Stop yelling "free Palestine." Stop saying it's free. It's free. It's free. It's the same as saying free bagels, free coffee.
I mean, look, his mom is
free
Jewish.
internet.
His mom is Jewish. He
can't
do
say
this. He can say it. He can say it. His mom is Jewish and his dad is Muslim. This guy is so privileged
I have
that he has the
diplomatic-
both things.
I have diplomatic immunity.
He's like, what the fuck? We can't say that. Like,
I don't think we need a peace treaty. I think we need an appraisal. And to have someone put a huge price tag on Palestine, so Israel's like, that's too much for me.
yeah, that's true. There's also a joke like about like free Palestine. It's free. They don't like it.
Well, I'll tell you the other thing. The other thing that's starting to happen is I think like some people, like some of the activists right now, like I think activism is really important, but I think like we can acknowledge when it needs to get better, right? And there's a lot of activists that are attacking people. Like I've had some people yell at me, and I'm already on their side.
Yeah,
because I'm not as activist as they want to be. So now they want to segment activism. Like how many times can we divide? Are we mitochondria?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the more we divide, the weaker we get. Yeah. You know, like the more we come together, the stronger we are. Yeah. And I just don't understand this divisiveness, even amongst people that agree with you. Like I saw this thing spray painted on the wall. It says, if you have a racist friend, it's time for your relationship to end. And it's like, okay, I get it. Racists are terrible people. But then how are you solving the issue? You're putting your personal comfort. That is a perfect example of putting your personal comfort in front of the cause. If you really wanted to have a solution to the cause, then if you have a racist friend, then what that sign should have said is if you have a racist friend, it's time to talk to them. Not it's time to end the relationship. It's fucking time to talk to them and make them uncomfortable. It's, I
always agree with this because I always hate to be in a bubble of people that have my same kind of thought, you know, about especially about these kind of things. I always love to let me go talk with like people that are really different from me, and I want to understand their point of view, and let's talk about it because I have friends that are like, oh my god, you are racist. You're racist. Yeah, I'm never gonna see you again. You know. But that's already the separation because you not even try.
Meet me.
No. I'm not saying I'm racist. But I'm saying like you should try to understand.
I know what you mean. I know.
Not try to change him, but at least like okay, let's communicate. Let's talk about it.
It's like, you know what it's like? It's like someone who says, I want to be a doctor. I'm really passionate about being a doctor. And then someone walks in that needs a doctor and they go, ew, you're bleeding. And then walk out of the room. I'm like, what kind of a doctor are you? You're an activist. That is something that needs to be activated and convinced and it's mind change. And you literally run the other way.
Like have a dialogue, you know?
What is it that you do? You're a firefighter that's afraid of fire.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like it just doesn't make sense. It's like activism is hard work. You can't just call yourself an activist and then run away from the actual hard work that it takes to have a one-on-one conversation with someone. And I like this old saying that says there's three sides to every story. There's your side, there's my side, there's the truth. And it's funny, every time I see an argument, it's one side arguing about the other side's worst people, and it's that side arguing about the other side's worst people. But then there's a bunch of people in the middle of both sides that are decent fucking people.
Yeah.
And it's a much bigger number than the people that are causing the problem.
Exactly. It's like you don't see them because they're like, I don't know, they're like
they're focusing on their life.
Yeah.
Like of course you have your private life.
They're being pushed down by the most extreme people
100%,
from both sides.
Yeah, because
so
it's easier.
Like, you don't see them anymore.
Yeah, it's easier to sell umbrellas when the clouds are dark.
Yeah.
If there's sunshine, nobody buys your insurance. Nobody buys your umbrellas. And that's what they want. They want us to all be scared all the time. So we either buy more of their products or buy more into them. And then we get controlled. I'm going to get shot for this podcast.
No.
They're going to kill me.
No worries.
It's all right. He did the joke on an open mic.
Yeah. No, not that. I'm not talking about the joke. Not for that. No, I'm talking about the Illuminati.
The Illuminati.
That's okay. I'll just party with Tupac until it's over. Me and Tupac. Yeah. Did you hear Tupac put out another album? Did you hear about that?
What? How?
Yeah, it's not true. See how easy?
It's easy
Yeah,
to
you
spread
just
misinformation.
manipulate misinformation.
All right, Joe
Misinformation.
Rogan.
I want to do for Halloween. I'm going to be Joe Rogan as a drag queen, and my name is going to be Misinformation.
That's a good one.
Take that, Rogan, you petite but muscular man.
Well,
We're never gonna have Rogan here. I guess
He's still petite.
he's gonna see this. He's like, what is this?
No, he's
I'm
not.
never gonna be on this.
He's not going to see that. He won't be able to get through it because it's funny.
Boo! Boo! Fuck you!
He's not. He's going to take him like an hour of I don't get it to get to this part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
What suggested video is gonna be like?
Yeah. And I prefer that you pronounce his name in the Spanish with a Spanish accent. Ho Rogan.
Oh, Rogan?
Ho Rogan. Ho. He's a ho. Ho.
Yeah. No, but you, yeah.
So I have a question for you guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely. Oh, shoot.
How was your day?
He got us there.
I got ya.
Dude, I went to a tech conference this morning, and
Okay.
Wow.
it was really boring. But
No.
no, it was
Come on.
it was crazy, dude.
A tech conference.
dude, it was
Boring.
Yeah, but there was a lot
Get
of food.
out
There was a
of
lot
here.
of food. Like
Oh,
that was
okay.
good. But the CTO of this company, he started
Chief Technology Officer.
CTO like
What's the
Technology
CTO?
like
officer, yeah.
technical
Chief Technical
chief technical
Autistic.
I don't know.
That's a CTA.
But he tried to make like kind of jokes during the speech,
Oh yeah.
but he couldn't. He couldn't like. People were a bit tired. It was 9 a.m.
yeah.
and just tech people like nerds.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yeah, guys, after we're gonna drink some beers because we are in Germany, right?" And I was laughing, and I was crying. Man. I was like, this is the best joke
love it.
ever.
It's really bad.
Please,
How
keep
often have you been doing stand-up?
That's great, man.
This guy, you're killing it.
I love. There's very few things in the world that are better than watching rich people fail. I love watching the rich fail.
Yeah, like especially being
But yeah, so
funny.
you always try to save it. You always try to say, "Oh, I thought that was funny."
They should have a show called The Biggest Winner. You know, like the Biggest Loser is like fat people competing to lose weight. It's The Biggest Loser, but it's kind of a entendre because they're actually the biggest loser is actually the smallest person because that's the winner. We should have The Biggest Winner where they're all millionaires, but
Trying
they
to be
all do
funny.
like physical challenges.
Oh, that would be amazing.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
And we could watch like rich people lose their dignity.
Yeah, Elon Musk.
They don't have a lot of dignity,
Yeah,
the rich.
I was thinking about
Yeah, I was gonna
Elon
say.
Musk. Yeah, he has no dignity already. I know.
They really
he wants
don't.
to fight Zuckerberg though.
Yeah, what a joke.
in, a,
Like,
co- in,
look,
a
it's
Colosseum,
such a,
in
it's-
Rome, right? In the Colosseum. They wanted to fight in the Colosseum, no?
Look how stupid that sounds.
That sounds
Yeah,
really
it was,
stupid.
it was really stupid.
Like the toughest human is like the gnarliest chihuahua. we're still like compared to
And
any other
Zuckerberg?
animal. Compared to any other animal, we literally could get the shit beat out of us by a cat. We're this big in the toughness category.
Yeah.
It's such a joke.
But you actually, I'm thinking, do you think there's a relation between rich and funny? Do you think like the richer you get, the less funny you get?
Yeah.
Or do you think no, there's no relation?
Because you're
think
poor, that's why you're asking that.
I'm not funny and poor. Like,
Because I'm really broke right now, so I should be the funniest guy
I
in
should
the
be
town.
funny, but I'm
No,
not. Like, you know.
there's funny rich people. I think there's funny rich people, but I think their tool is weaker. It's like there's short guys in the NBA. They can will their way forward, but their tool is weaker, right? I think being a good comedian is being able to feel what other people feel. That's the best joke.
Oh, yeah.
When you say something and the average person goes, "That's so true."
Yeah, be relatable.
You gotta connect to you before you make them laugh. So if you can and the way that you do that is by being an empath, like by being a feeler. Like creativity is more of an antenna than a manufacturing plant. It's you notice things, you hear things, you smell things that other people also smelled, but they didn't say it yet. So you're a better antenna. And when you're rich, your antenna is farther away from everybody else's.
True. You're
And, it's
on
more,
another
and it's
planet.
more insulated.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I don't like feeling. The richer you get, the less you feel. I don't want to feel too cold. I don't want to feel too hot. I don't want to feel hungry.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel this. I don't want to feel that. You wealth yourself into numbness.
Yeah.
That's what most of the drugs do too. You know what I mean? So I think they can be funny, but they're like it's rare.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially it's difficult in comedy because you don't live anymore like a normal life, right?
Yeah, man.
You go on stage and you say, yeah, yesterday I went to the grocery store, and like, I don't think you went to if
Yeah.
you're rich, I don't think you go to the grocery store anymore.
That's the funny thing I saw on Ellen Page. She had Bill Gates, and she was showing him slides of supermarket products and letting him guess how much does it cost.
Oh,
And
really?
he was failing so bad.
fuck,
He
yeah.
was failing bad.
Do you
because
think
he's
milk was like
I don't know.
$1,000?
He's like,
It was
I don't
like,
know. He's
can
like,
of tuna, $50? I don't know.
yeah, it was like it was like
Oh my
6-7
God.
euro for a can of tuna. It's like, right? Like, no, it's 150
No,
or one.
fuck.
And
Yeah.
he's failing bad because he doesn't go to a grocery store.
Dude,
and
you know
buy
he's not
stuff.
normal. What kind of a listen?
What the fuck?
Bill Gates. Imagine this. Bill Gates was at the peak, his sexual peak, when he created Microsoft.
How do you know
He
that?
was he was very young, right?
Oh,
He
okay.
was at his sexual peak, the time when he thought about sex more than any other time in his life. The time when a woman walking by him could change his breathing, and the words he thought of to name his company were micro and soft. He's not normal.
Joke.
He's not normal. That's not a normal man.
Can we cut this joke and put it online?
If Bill Gates was me, they're like, "Oh, what's the name of your new computer company?" I'd be like, "Super Huge Cock Incorporated." Super Cock and Balls. Oh my god! I cock and balls. I cock. The I.
Imagine someone gets in this room and he just sees
You know what I mean?
Tamer
I'm like,
saying,
it's
I
ridiculous.
cock and balls.
Like that's what I was like when I was at my sexual peak. This guy, those are the words he used. What's wrong with you?
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, he doesn't go to a grocery store, but fuck him. Like his tiny, yeah. I think he's not a bad person. Like I think there's a worse rich person.
I think there's a way to. There's something that changed my mind recently about wealth, because I used to think some wealthy people were also not bad people. They're just good. They're just better at gooder. They're just better at PR. Right? Like here's the
Guess
way
so,
you think of
yeah.
it. If you are a wealthy person at that level of wealth, right, and you believe that everyone should be equal, how can you make that much money? Right?
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah.
is not getting their fair share. If you were
Yeah.
getting if you were getting paid on a weekly basis, the GDP of a country, who are you making that money off of? Right?
Yeah.
If that person is making $5 an hour and that person is making $500 an hour, that gap favors the person on the higher end of the spectrum. And even if he could be a really, really nice person, even Ben and Jerry, when they made their ice cream company and said the most successful person is not going to make more than 20 times the receptionist at the company. And it got to a point where the receptionist was making a 6-figure salary. It was really amazing model.
Really?
But
Ben
yeah,
Jerry did that?
yeah. But
Didn't
then
know
they
that.
stopped it because it wasn't profitable. Because then investors would invest in the company, and it just got hard. It's a constant temptation. You know what I mean? It's like becoming a politician and saying, "I'm not going to be corrupt." Sure, in the beginning,
Yeah.
but then you will become corrupt at some point. It's just a matter of how corrupt will you become, and how much of your heart will you have left.
Yeah.
That's the only us and them. There is no difference, man. If you've ever visited Egypt or Israel, you can go back and forth and you meet the average person who's from your socioeconomic class, and those motherfuckers are similar.
Yeah.
Very fucking
absolutely.
similar. When Pakistan is like, "I hate India," I'm like, "Motherfuckers, you look similar." You are more similar than anybody. It's the way like dogs bark at each other at a dog park. The people who are most the same are the ones who want to fight each other the most. It's absolutely insane. It drives me absolutely crazy. But then when I look at who is different, there is someone that's different than all of us, and it's politicians. The only us and them is us and those guys who feed off us.
Yeah.
We don't have to have wars.
No.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like,
Not
and who do they
necessary.
send? Do they send their kids? No. They send our kids, our friends,
Yeah.
Of course. yeah.
all of it. We're the ones that are used for these wars, and we don't even know what the fuck the war is for or what they're doing. It's crazy. And if you want to see evidence that it's not about race, there are Arab leaders that were like investing in Netanyahu's like plans to build. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're an Arab. But it's not about race. It's about a bigger nationality, the nationality of money.
Yeah.
It's about money first. And then the same thing. I see Jewish people protesting in front of Netanyahu's house, going, "This is horrible. This is genocide. This is terrible what you're doing." You know what I mean? And it's like,
yeah.
it's not about race. It's about decency. You know?
Definitely.
We're never gonna have Bill Gates.
We're never gonna have Bill Gates.
Yeah, you're in the podcast.
Joe Rogan.
But he'll come. He'll
Bill
come.
Gates is gone.
Joey, I'm sorry, I've ruined the chance. Joe Rogan coming here and sitting in an ice bath. Joe Rogan is every morning. I go and I sit in a cold bath so I can remember what it feels like to feel pain. Oh, good for you. You know what I do to feel pain? I open my bills. Jesus.
You open your postpaid
I like to
taxes.
be reminded of what it feels like to feel pain to make me a tough man. As you go home and go to sleep in your pink Corvette, like, what are you talking about?
he's
You're
so rich, like, he
you're
doesn't have pain.
you're 100,000 millionaire, kabillionaire.
Yeah.
There's not even, and you're telling me that I need to add more pain to my life.
Yeah.
Like, you imagine you're driving your car, you see a homeless guy. Hey, buddy, you want to have a better core? You ever thought about sitting in an ice bath? Shut up, Joe Rogan. Idiot.
Fucking idiot. Fuck Joe Rogan.
I'm a good kicker. Shut up.
Oh, my
Dude,
God.
if we were children, here's the other thing I think of too. Let me say this to my straight friends who are super straight.
Look at the camera.
You know the guys that are super straight? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing. If you make 3 right turns, surprise, you're going left. Right?
Yeah.
And I feel that way with guys who are super straight.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I think, whatchamacallit? Who's that Canadian professor? Robert, what's his name? The right-wing dude.
Canadian.
Yeah, he's a
professor?
Canadian professor.
You went to.
He's like he's right wing and he's kind of sexist.
I think
Anyways-
Well, you gotta be more specific, but I don't know. It's a lot of.
that's my.
I can't remember his name, but anyways, they go, listen, I think, like, okay, 3 right turns make a left, 3 straight turns make a gay, right? So you could be like, oh, who's that dude that did the sex trafficking? Andrew Tate, right?
Yeah.
So you go, I think Andrew Tate makes some good points. First right turn.
Yeah.
And then you go, I think sometimes Donald Trump is good for the economy. Oh, that's a second right turn. And then you make your third right turn. I think Joe Rogan has a nice body. You're like, now you're gay. Now you're gay. You made 3 rights, now you're facing left. And that's these guys. They're so hyper straight that I go, you're a cartoon of what it means to be a man. Like Joe Rogan's like, before I eat a burger, I want to kill it with a crossbow. Just get a burger.
Yeah.
Chill out. Relax.
I mean, luckily in Europe we have roundabouts.
yeah.
What do you mean with roundabouts? Oh, no, I get it.
I like that. Yeah.
No, I get it. I
I tried to make
totally
a joke.
get
It didn't really work.
You know what else?
Oh,
like,
I am. It made me think.
You know what else really bothers me? It bothers me when old dudes are like, this generation is, they're pussies. They're not tough. They're not as tough as we were. You should see how hard we had it. I'm like, yeah, it's called evolution.
Yeah.
That's what's supposed to happen.
Yeah.
You know who thinks the guy who's standing straight up is a pussy? The guy who walks like this. Ooh. That guy's like, hey, that guy's a pussy. Yeah, you made him have a better life. That's your job.
He has a better core.
If your grandson has a better life than you, congratulations, you're a good father.
Yeah.
Why are you calling the next generation pussies? That's literally your job.
Yeah. Literally, no.
I'm getting worked up, you guys.
Yes, well,
That's all right,
on this
yeah.
note, I think we can.
It's because I ate sausage
he ate a whole pizza.
on,
All
a,
right.
on a pizza.
Thank you so much for coming.
No,
That was-
thank you.
Really?
That
Yeah.
was for the
you.
second time.
That's like.
That sounded sexual. Thank you
I mean,
for
whatever,
coming
how
for
you-
the second time.
However, you want to be paid, or if you want to get paid.
Hey, I'm not the one whose last name is Ferrari. It's him who's doing it. Vroom, vroom. That could be the name of your first comedy album.
Good special.
Tom
name.
Ferrari. Vroom, vroom.
I don't know. Maybe Fiat.
Tomasino? Is that how you say it?
No, Tommasino.
Tomasino? Is that
Yeah.
like Tommy?
That's my parent. Yeah, that's my Tommy. Yeah.
Like Tommy. That's cute.
That's a cute. Yeah, Tommy's a very
and
American
Aladino.
name.
Tommasino and Aladino.
Tomasino Aladino.
Ready to become famous tomorrow.
Anything.
You guys are like pinatas. There's a rainbow waiting to pop out of you.
What a way to end the episode. You have a show tomorrow, right?
I do not. It's next month. Nice one to have a show. And here's the thing:
25th?
I'm very proud of the English speaking comedy scene across Europe. I think
Yeah.
it's evolving and growing really quickly. It reminds me of basketball when America first brought basketball to the Olympics, and they humiliated everybody. It was like 150 to 80. Right, and now it's not like that. Now Eastern European teams win. Now Ukraine wins. Now other teams win. America doesn't own the sport. It births the sport, but it doesn't own it. England birthed football, but it doesn't own it. Now Brazil owns it, or Argentina, or whoever.
Right.
And I think it's the same thing that's going to happen with comedy. America birthed it, but they don't got to own it. And this show, to me, I've seen a lot of shows here when the scene started that they were like trying to make New York style comedy shows or London style comedy shows, and I'm not doing that. I'm making a Berlin style comedy show. I think that's important in the history of the city. Hitler himself said the Third Reich was defeated because of cabaret. He said that because people were making fun of him and belittling him and making the image of the Nazis feel weaker and weaker, and it spread like COVID. One at a time, and it all went out, and that's the power of the kind of comedy that happened here. So like, fuck that. We're not doing a New York style show or a LA or a London style show. We're doing a Berlin style show with a sprinkle of shit that I picked up from the best shows I've ever worked on around the world. We're gonna have a piano player, a la the Comedy Store original room. Where people used to be brought up by the piano player, and the interaction with the piano player is also going to be there. And we're also going to have like banner between the hosts and the sound guy with different sound effects, like from the Howard Stern radio show. And we're also going to have cabaret acts. So besides stand-up, there's going to be fire and bubbles and shit like that. It's like going to be a proper full-on.
Oh my God.
And you better bring your A game. It is not. It is a show where people bring their A game. Yeah. And we're building a scene, man. We're building a scene.
Oh, nice.
All right. Nice. Awesome. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Next month,
man.
Next month will be the first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Fubu. It's going to be called.
Fubu.
Fubu. For us, by us.
All right.
I thought it was cream, no?
I thought it was
Yeah, we changed. This is a different show.
all right.
Cream will come back.
I was a bit confused.
It's a total random information. I thought it was great.
It was the last show, you fools.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow. Yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you, man.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. And yeah. Let's do that. Let's.
Okay.
May Allah protect us all. I don't know why I'm saying that.
Okay, can we turn off these lights?
So Allah.
I feel like I'm in a courtroom.
I feel like
And I did it.
you did it.